New legislation is working its way through the Florida legislature. Some will call it an anti-Sharia law, but whether you're Muslim or not, I think this is really problematic stuff. The so-called application of foreign law in certain cases bill could soon become law in Florida. Now, what's it all about? That depends on who you ask. The sponsors claim it's nothing more than an attempt to maintain full equal protection for all people living in Florida. Its detractors will say it's yet another attempt to preempt reliance on any legal system or body, Islamic or otherwise, which holds itself to any standards other than the Florida and U.S. Constitution. I think the biggest problem with it is this law, if implemented, could easily strip people of their constitutional right to voluntarily participate in community and in organizations which should not be governed by secular law to begin with. And the key word here is voluntarily participate. Look, in truth, the idea that Florida lawmakers want to offer the greatest level of protection to all people living in their state is not such a terrible thing. And I know some people will immediately get offended by any legislation directed at reliance on Sharia, calling it Islamophobic. But the truth is, it's fair to question if there are systems which don't offer the protections we hold dear in America, why should people be able to rely on them? And why should the decisions made under those systems be enforced? Truth is, not all legal systems are equal, at least not from the perspective of most Americans and not for us here in America. But it's also clear that part of our own system recognizes the rights of individuals to voluntarily make decisions for themselves. Decisions which, though they may limit the application of some of the rights we want, they can do so in private matters like marriage and divorce. So ultimately, it seems to me the issue here is the extent to which we are willing to protect people's freedom of individual expression and conscience. To what extent will we defend people's right to give up some choices and protections, even if it may disturb some of us, because we actually believe that that individual choice-making is one of the most sacred constitutional rights that our system is meant to provide. It would be nothing short of tragic, it seems to me, to implement a law which could undermine people's right to make free and voluntary decisions regarding their own personal lives simply because some third party doesn't like the code to which the first group wants to base their decision. It would really be ironic to pass into law in Florida or anywhere else a measure that could undermine constitutional rights in the name of protecting those very rights. It's like something out of George Orwell's 1984. So this law, however well-intentioned it might be, is simply not a good idea, at least not until we talk a lot more about the real motivations of those supporting it and the real costs that may come from implementing it.